Okay, so this has been a long time coming and gradually has been increasing. But this is my accidental food forest / fruit forest. And it's just because I am urban backyard gardening / farming. and I've just been plunking stuff down. This was planned. This is a grapevine. And it gives us a lot of red seedless table grapes every year. You can see got lots coming in. And it gets a little black spot every year. But I use a fungicide to kind of keep it at bay, and it still produces really good grapes. I've got a spur pruning for it, but this year I didn't really do anything. The next thing that came in is my perennial tree kale. So this is the Taunton Deane perennial kale from England. And it's really kind of shrubby, and I actually just set it here. You can see how accidental this area is. I set it here in this like half-gallon pot or 1-gallon pot or whatever, and it jumped a taproot to the ground. These grow with like one major taproot and a bunch of smaller roots around it. So at some point it started to fall a little bit towards the sun, and so I put this piece of I collect like randomly shaped driftwoods, but this is like a crook holding this up. So that is the tree kale that came in next. After that, I put a single cane of elderberry, that's probably 3 years ago now, into an open bottom barrel. So I cut these 55-gallon barrels in half and cut the bottoms open to use them kind of like a raised bed. And also for things that have kind of shallow root systems, it doesn't send out quite as much. That you can see it has kind of, let's see, jumped out. This cane right here has jumped out from the barrel, so I need to be kind of aggressively trimming all that back so it's not jumping into my neighbor's yard. I don't get the best pollination because I only have one of them and there's not another one super close, but I do get quite a bit for having like a single plant. Let's see, and I think maybe before that was my high bush blueberry, and you can see this year, this is the first year it's really being consumed. So it really kind of goes like this, and it's being consumed by this, and it's kind of eating up the sun. So the berries on this side aren't ripening as well. So that's one thing that's not working super well, even though accidentally I've got like a really dense planting that's doing pretty well for the most part. I've got my comfrey here forever. It's sterile, so it won't spread, but it will be there forever. And these are all annuals. This is a pineberry bed. It's kind of an accident. This is a lot of pineberries to have, and at first I didn't really like them because they're smaller and I don't like the flavor quite as much. But then I realized that they stay up off the ground. You can see these left over, like these spent blossoms. They stay lifted up off the ground. These ones, like this, and so they withstand a lot of that centipede and slug damage that the others are susceptible to. And then this used to, under the grapevine, used to be just like my shady area for propagation of things. And so I have drip irrigation back there that I can just set pots underneath for when I'm trying to propagate like perennials, shrubs, and stuff like that. But this is also where I dump all of my pots that I'm trying to empty out and use somewhere else, or if I dig dirt out of the yard from somewhere else and don't have any place in mind for it yet, like I just like put it on this pile. But that means that I also, when I have like a cutting of something that really needs to go into the ground or get potted up and I don't have time to do it, I just like jam it into this pile. So I now have 3 rooted elderberries in this pile. And then this really was just like putting a stick in the ground and it not really doing much for quite a while. But this is a black currant. This is a black currant, and so it's fruiting this year for really the first time. But it's been kind of abused, and I need to trim it because it really was just like stuck a stick in the ground. I wasn't really sure anything was going to happen because it wasn't the right time of year and I didn't give it attention, and stuff like that. But I have quite a lot kind of coming off that, so I need to. It's got a pretty nice base stem or whatever. So I need to actually place that and start pruning it. So that and the elderberry were things that just got stuck there. Same with the borage. I think I like plucked it out of a pathway and felt sad killing a borage, and so I put it. There's you can see back here an overgrowth of blackberry, the Himalayan blackberry that is so pervasive in the Pacific Northwest. But anyways, that's just kind of like an explanation of my densely planted food forest. That's maybe not how I would have designed things or set things up if I was thinking about it ahead of time, but it actually is working surprisingly well for most things. There's one small grape behind here that basically is just like struggling to live because it gets almost no light, but it seems like it's holding on, so I've got it sitting there. If it survives, and it'll probably wind up somewhere else. Eventually this tree kale will die. They really are only heavily productive, I think, for like 5 to 7 years. And I think we're probably on year 4 for this one because I got it before my daughter was born and she just turned 4. So it's over 4. And so I have been propagating new ones, and I sell them online too. So this is like, I don't want to mess with it too much, but I also want to plan for some, I guess, redundancy or continuation once this dies, because it's like the crux of my Etsy store. It's a very, very, very hardy, like cold hardy perennial kale. There aren't as many varieties that are as cold hardy as this one. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. Happy gardening.